Welcome all in class 23 on electromagnetic theory. In this class, we will discuss about the energy in electromagnetic signals. As electromagnetic signals comprises of an electrical signal as well as magnetic signal. So in this class, we will derive the expression of energy in electromagnetic signals in terms of electrical field and magnetic field. It is the Poynting theorem which relates the energy in electromagnetic field in terms of electrical field and magnetic field. So, when electromagnetic waves travel in space, they carry energy with them. In electromagnetic wave, energy is contained in form of electric and magnetic field. It is Poynting theorem that relates the rate of energy travel per unit area with amplitude of electric and magnetic field in electromagnetic wave. In order to derive this Poynting theorem, we need to use Ampere's law, which is curl of H is equal to J plus curly D upon curly T, where J is conduction current density and curly D upon curly T, which can be written as mu naught curly E upon curly T, represents the displacement current density. So from this equation we can write that the conduction current density J is equal to curl of H minus epsilon naught curly E upon curly T. Now taking dot product of this equation on both sides with the electrical field E, that is E dot J is equal to E dot curl of H minus epsilon naught E dot curly E upon curly T. Now by using the equality that del dot A cross B is equal to B dot del cross A minus A dot del cross B. Here del is gradient, which in Cartesian coordinates can be written as vector, which is I curly upon curly x plus j curly upon curly y plus z curly upon curly z. A and B are two vectors which can be split into ax into I plus ay into j plus az into k, and similarly for B. So this is the equality that has been obtained by taking, we know that del dot A cross B can be obtained by using determinant by first row of del, second row of A and third row of B. So from by using the determinant we can obtain that del dot A cross B is equal to B dot curl of A minus A dot curl of B. Now by using this equality we can write that del dot E cross H, where I have replaced A by E and B by H. So del dot E cross H can be written as H dot curl of E minus E dot curl of H. So now by using equation 3 and by putting the value of curl of H, we can write that E dot J is equal to H dot curl of E minus del dot E cross H minus epsilon naught E into curly E upon curly T. Now equation 4 can further be rewritten as by using Maxwell's equation, which is that curl of E is equal to minus curly B upon curly T. So by using this equation we can write that E dot J is equal to H dot curly B upon curly T minus del dot E cross H minus epsilon naught E into curly E upon curly T. Now by rearranging this equation we can write that E dot J is equal to B is mu naught into H, so it is minus mu naught into H into curly H upon curly T minus epsilon naught E dot curly E upon curly T minus del dot E cross H. So which can further be rewritten as that in spite of writing H dot curly H upon curly T, we can write it as curly upon curly T of H square, because if we take curly upon curly T of H square, we obtain it to be equal to 2H into curly H upon curly T. So after rearranging equation 6, we obtain that E dot J is equal to minus 1 by 2 epsilon naught curly upon curly T of H square minus 1 by 2 epsilon naught curly upon curly T of E square minus del dot E cross H. Now taking the volume integral of equation 7 on both sides, we obtain that volume integral of E dot J over volume V is equal to 1 by 2 taken as common curly upon curly T of mu naught H square plus epsilon naught E square and volume integral with respect to V minus volume integral of del dot E cross H into dV. After rearranging this equation, we can obtain that volume integral of del dot E cross H is equal to minus 1 upon 2 curly upon curly T of mu naught H square plus epsilon naught E square into dV minus E dot J into dV. Now this equation comprises of three terms: first term, second term and third term. The meaning of these three terms are that second term composed of 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square and 1 by 2 mu naught H square, which represents the energy stored in electric and magnetic field respectively. So the volume integral of this represents total energy stored in electrical and magnetic field respectively in volume V, and rate of change of this quantity indicates the rate of change of stored energy in volume V. Similarly, the third term, which is E dot J into dV, can be written as, we know that electrical field is V by L dot, it is J is current density, which can be written as current per unit area. So E dot J is basically VI, which is power lost divided by volume. So the third term, which is integral of E dot J over volume V, represents total power lost in volume V. So right hand side of this equation, that is equation number 2 and equation number 3, we can say that it is minus rate of change of stored energy in volume plus total power lost in volume V, and negative sign of this will represent the net energy flow outside the volume. So the left hand side, that is equation 1, this equation 1 will also will indicate rate of net energy flow outside the volume. Now by using Stokes theorem and by converting del dot E cross H over volume V into the surface integral, we can obtain that integral of E cross H over surface S will indicate the rate of net energy flow outside the surface. Now there is a quantity which is multiplied by some area, and it represents the rate of net energy flow outside the surface. So the quantity E cross H will indicate the rate of energy flow per unit area outside the surface. So the term E cross H is known as Poynting vector, and P is equal to E cross H, and E cross H, that is Poynting vector, will represent the rate of energy flow per unit area outside the surface. So by using mathematical expressions, the expression of average power crossing the surface in terms of electrical field and magnetic field can be obtained that the average power flowing due to electromagnetic signal in terms of electrical field is E square by 2 intrinsic impedance constant, or E by H is equal to intrinsic impedance constant. So in terms of H, it becomes H square intrinsic impedance constant by 2. So it was all that we want to discuss in this class. So from here we can conclude that the energy that is propagating in electromagnetic signal can be obtained from E and H by using the expression that P is equal to E cross H, and total power crossing the surface S can be obtained by integrating P over the surface S. So thank you very much.